In March 2021, a 24-year-old resident of the Sable Club Apartments in Longwood, Florida, called local police after a disturbing encounter with a maintenance worker named Armando. The woman told deputies he had asked her out on a date. Soon after she declined, a 5-pound weight came crashing through her living room window, startling her and causing her to fear for her safety. Deputies arrived shortly after.
Can you have the complainant step out? We have signal 88 to front window. We have a broken window. There's a weight that was thrown into the window. She doesn't know who. I guess right now all we really have is criminal misdemeanor.
Although the victim did not observe Armando committing the crime, she told officers she was convinced he was the perpetrator. Unfortunately, she could not provide a last name and deputies could not immediately locate the suspect. Eventually, the woman declined to press charges. 6 months later, the Arden Villas apartment complex in Orlando became the center of another terrifying mystery. 19-year-old Mia Marcano, a resident and employee of the villas, located 30 minutes from the Sable Club Apartments, missed a flight to visit her family and could not be contacted. As the investigation into her disappearance unfolded, authorities learned of a curious coincidence. Mia had recently rejected the advances of an obsessed maintenance worker. The suspect's last name was Caballero. His first name, Armando. "19-year-old Mia Marcano was a bright and driven young woman. According to her family, she was originally from the Miami area. She graduated from Flanagan High School in 2020 and wasted no time pursuing her dream of higher education. She was enrolled at Valencia College in Central Florida. Mia was young and independent and was described by one neighbor as shy, friendly, and sweet, but more on the quiet side. She lived and worked at Arden Villas, an apartment complex in Orlando, Florida, where she had built a life for herself. Her job was in the leasing office. Despite her busy schedule, Mia made time for the people she loved, especially her large and exceptionally close-knit family. She cherished their traditions like attending the annual Miami Carnival Parade and concert, and always made sure to stay connected with her roots in the Miami area. Mia was looking forward to catching up with her family in Fort Lauderdale as her father had booked a surprise flight for her on Southwest Airlines departing from Orlando. The day of Mia Marcano's disappearance was supposed to be a joyful one. Her flight was scheduled to leave between 7:30 to 8 p.m., and she had arranged for an Uber to pick her up after finishing work around 5 p.m. But as the minutes turned into hours, something felt off, according to Mia's mother. She was on the phone with Mia while she waited for her ride. After their short call, Mia's mother became increasingly concerned when Mia stopped responding to texts or calls. Since typically airline staff cannot provide boarding information, the family had to wait until the plane landed to realize she had not made the flight. A friend was sent to Mia's apartment hoping to get some answers, but when she arrived, Mia was nowhere to be found. The situation was unsettling, and her family knew they had to act quickly. They contacted the police at 9:42 p.m. and requested a welfare check. At the same time, family members in Fort Lauderdale began preparing for the 3-hour drive north to Orlando. Deputy Paulino arrived at Arden Villas at 10:07 p.m. and was greeted by members of Mia's family. Initially, he looked through a bedroom window which was easily opened from the outside. Mia's roommate later arrived to unlock the apartment, and they both entered but found that Mia's bedroom door was locked. The roommate climbed through the bedroom window and Paulino followed soon after. Inside the bedroom, Paulino observed several unsettling details, including an unmade bed, a red substance on a pillow, a teddy bear that Mia always carried on the closet floor, and a piece of furniture propped up against the door. Paulino took photos and sent them to the family members who confirmed that these details were unusual and raised further concerns about Mia's disappearance. During interviews, a co-worker of Mia's told Deputy Paulino that a maintenance man named Armando had shown interest in Mia, but she did not reciprocate. After taking a report and urging anyone with additional information to contact the sheriff's office, Deputy Paulino concluded that Mia was likely a voluntary missing person rather than a missing endangered person. Despite the concerning details observed in the apartment, he chose not to escalate the case to criminal investigators or a missing persons detective based on his assessment. Before leaving the scene, Deputy Paulino explained his reasoning to Mia's family members.
I called my supervisor and I'm like, hey, this is what I got. She doesn't have any mental, disabilities, nothing. She's, in our eyes, a normal adult.
At 12:29 a.m., a security guard at Arden contacted the sheriff's office to report that he had pulled a fingerprint from Mia's bedroom windowsill using duct tape. Deputy Paulino returned to the scene to collect the print. At 3:52 a.m., Mia's father, Marlon Sr., called the sheriff's office. Mia's family had arrived from Fort Lauderdale and asked Deputy Paulino to return once more after he had made critical observations in her bedroom. He told Deputy Paulino he found a yellow box cutter under a blue rug near the bed, with no apparent bloodstains. Additionally, family members said they could tell from indentations in the carpet that the bed had been moved from its original position. They also handed over various electronic devices to Paulino, which were collected using gloves provided by security. While gathering evidence, a security officer informed Deputy Paulino of an ongoing confrontation between Mia's family and a man in a silver Ford Fusion. The man was later identified as Armando Caballero, an Arden Villas maintenance worker who had shown up voluntarily. As Paulino questioned Armando, a security officer informed him that the family had seen a screwdriver, a cell phone case, and a pink blanket in his vehicle, in plain view. During questioning, Armando told Deputy Paulino that he had stopped by after being told by a female co-worker named Tati that Mia was missing. He claimed to have last seen Mia at 3 p.m. that same day in the clubhouse. However, family members sensed that something was amiss.
But no one knows Tati.
You
keep mentioning Tati and no one knows Tati.
You get a call
the
all of a sudden.
roommates don't even know Tati.
You've been sleeping since
You
10
keep
o'clock,
saying
and all of a
Tati is
sudden
a
you're showing
friend.
up here at 4 o'clock in the morning looking for me.
Tati were conversating about it, so I finally, it came
Okay,
up.
but
Should
Tati
I go and
is
see
someone-
if I see anything?
No one knows Tati. That's my whole thing. Not
Tati
even the
is
roommate
an
knows
employee
Tati.
here. You
She's an employee, but you keep saying Tati is a friend and that you've all hung out together. No one here knows Tati. All her
Well,
other
not
friends
all
showed up. Her
these
closest
people.
friends that live in the complex were all here with us early on. No one knows Tati. Only you. Whoever Tati is, and Tati's on the phone, she shouldn't even be on the phone right now. As of right now, you have
work
sent
tomorrow? You work
obsessive
tomorrow,
texts to
Tati?
Mia. We have all seen the text. You talked about giving her your life savings. You cash out her money, and you claim that you weren't in touch.
Who told her
It's
gave her
on
life
text.
savings? I never
As a
said
matter of
that.
fact, we're going to get a police report to pull your phone records if that's the case.
What you trying to do?
There's evidence of obsession, of something. You're fascinated with
It's
me.
not only from my side, so don't try to make this
No
like
one,
I'm a
no one's
stalker.
saying that. It takes
She's
two.
not here to defend
There's-
herself right now, so
obviously
we gotta
she's
talk to
missing.
you.
So we're talking to
And
you,
I
who's been going
completely
back and
respect
forth
that. I
on
understand
text.
that.
Alright,
That
so
is your
cool.
family.
Right.
But until we figure out what's going on, just don't beat me up.
Nobody
one's
ain't beating
beating
you
If
you
up.
I'm
up.
guilty, why
But you
would I
put
come
yourself in the middle right here. You brought yourself over here.
Because we're concerned.
You're concerned. Why weren't you concerned hours ago?
I just found out.
Alright, cool, no problem.
So
In
how
the
did, Ta-
first
so
few
how did
hours,
Tati find out?
We didn't think it was serious. I don't even know how Tati found
Oh,
out. She
somebody's
told me
missing and you don't think it's serious.
Someone
maybe they
that
hanging out. They got this place right here. They go downtown. I don't know. Maybe her phone's off. I don't know what she.
She would use somebody's phone and call her dad. Or her grandmother, somebody.
she was supposed to show up for a flight and didn't show up.
Not calling her father. Not being intended.
I can come back tomorrow. You come to my house.
Officer, can I ask you a question?
Moments later, Armando assisted Deputy Paulino in searching a building on the property, and it was then that he learned that Armando had access to all areas as part of his duties as a maintenance worker, including a master key fob. Paulino cleared Armando to leave, as he believed there was insufficient probable cause to detain or arrest him at that time. At 8:40 a.m., family members who were conducting surveillance at Armando's residence in Winter Park observed him exiting his vehicle. The family noticed that Armando had blue rubber gloves, a dark book bag, and a pink blanket, which they believed belonged to Mia. They contacted the Castleberry police, but officers claimed they could not do much as it was a missing person case under the Orange County Sheriff's Office. An unknown male family member asked Armando to consent to a limited search of his residence with an officer present, and Armando agreed. Nothing of evidentiary value was found, and the matter was closed. At 11:52 a.m., 2 deputies arrived at Arden Villas to investigate Mia's disappearance. At some point in the afternoon, the matter was escalated to the Missing Persons Unit. Detectives arrived, and during interviews, they learned Mia's door was accessed on Friday at 4:34 p.m. by the on-call maintenance key fob, despite no active work orders for her apartment that day. Mia's brother confirmed to detectives that Armando had sent Mia somewhere between $600 to $700 through Cash App for, quote, being pretty, end quote. Mia immediately returned the money. In addition, a coworker stated that Mia and Armando had not been romantically involved and felt it was weird that he sent her messages. She shared a message Armando sent to Mia with detectives, which particularly troubled her. It read, "Everything else burnt out, but respectively, I can't lie, I would have loved to taste you or see how it was at least once." The messages were entered into evidence. Multiple friends and coworkers corroborated these accounts. Based on the investigation's findings, detectives obtained an arrest warrant for Armando and turned the warrant over to the Sheriff's Office Felony Apprehension Unit. "27-year-old Armando Caballero had spent most of his life in Orlando. He graduated from Colonial High School and received a scholarship to play football at Warner University. However, he was expelled in his sophomore year after setting off a small explosion in a dorm hallway, ostensibly as a prank. After living with his mother for a few years, he began living alone. In an interview with detectives, his mother described him as passive and respectful, stating that it takes a lot for him to get upset or angry. Yet, Armando's criminal record indicates otherwise, as he was arrested for discharging a firearm on school property and throwing a destructive device in 2013. Officers also believe he was the person responsible for the weight-throwing incident at the Sable Apartments earlier in the year. While the Sheriff's Office continued their search for Mia and Armando, a press conference scheduled for Monday, September 27th at 1 p.m. was postponed due to a 911 call received that morning.
911, you need police, fire, medical?
We found a suicide on property. Someone hung themselves from a garage.
What is the address?
525 Sable Lake Drive.
Okay, and what is your name? Okay, and is there a unit, or is that the unit number 525 where you found him?
No, they're in the garage. They're in our paint garage.
So the male?
So it's garage. It's a male?
Okay.
Yes, male.
You said it's at the parking garage, or paint?
Yeah, it's one of our, yeah. If they're looking for a building, it's by building 641, building 633.
You said it was in a parking garage or in a paint garage? I'm sorry, I forgot what you said.
It's one of our garages, but
okay.
We just store paint in there. So,
okay.
Yeah, sorry.
All right. He's beyond, he's deceased, beyond any help?
I believe so.
Okay.
He's
all right.
dead, right?
Okay. We'll have an officer over there in a few minutes. You said it was a male?
Yes.
Okay. See you shortly. Thank you.
Okay, thank you.
Bye.
Okay, good afternoon. We are here today because we need our entire community's help in locating 19-year-old Mia Marcano. I'm here with Mia's father and mother, Marlon Marcano, Ima Scabriel, her mother, Marlon, her brother, Marlon Jr., her stepmother, Giselle, her Aunt Pia, grandmother, Violet, and Joy. We are employing anyone with any information about Mia's whereabouts to please come forward. After Mia was reported missing, our detectives determined 27-year-old Armando Manuel Caballero was a person of interest in her disappearance. Earlier today, Armando Caballero was found dead at an apartment complex in Seminole County. It appears he has killed himself. Caballero's vehicle was found at the scene and is being delivered to the sheriff's office for processing. So the death investigation of Caballero is being conducted by the Seminole County Sheriff's Office. We have been actively searching for Caballero this weekend, and I want to reiterate, Mia is still missing. Her disappearance is suspicious, and our detectives and the family members obviously suspect foul play. So we are still doing everything possible we can to find her. So at this time, I'm going to invite a couple family members to say a few words. The family does not desire to answer any questions at this time.
My name is Pia. I'm the aunt of Mia. Mia, this message is for you. I know you're alive. I know you're out there. We love you. You know our family is strong. You know our family is big. You know we will never sleep one night until we get you home. We miss you. We know that you're strong. Me and you had that conversation. Mia, anytime something should happen, fight, because we have your back. Your mom, your dad, grandparents, your stepmom, your brother, your uncles, your aunts. You're my only niece. You know we love you. We cherish you. You are the family's princess. We miss you and fight. We're here and we're waiting for you. Come. This family believes in God. We believe in hope and we have faith. As soon as you're ready, Mia, come. Give us the sign and we're right there. You know it. I love you, Mia.
Armando's body was found in the same apartment complex where he had allegedly thrown a weight through a window. His vehicle was discovered at that location as well, and in it, officers found black duct tape with strands of black hair. The hair was later identified through forensic testing as a DNA match to Mia's. Over the next 5 days, hundreds of law enforcement personnel, friends, family, and community members searched multiple locations for Mia.
Well, Elliot, right now, deputies are focusing on New Smyrna Beach. That's where they picked up a ping from the suspect's cell phone. So now they're checking out that area, seeing if there's any signs of Mia. Meanwhile, the family and friends, they're holding out hope. They held a vigil tonight outside her apartment.
Send your angels to be with Mia and let her guardian angels enlighten and keep her safe from any harm.
Family and friends of Mia Marcano are praying for a miracle, holding vigil outside her apartment. Her mom tightly clutching a teddy bear that belongs to Mia.
That's something that Mia always had. Then when they went in her apartment and saw that Teddy was there, we knew that something definitely was wrong. We need closure, regardless of what it is. We need closure. I don't know what kind of life it would be for never knowing where she's at. So we pray and we ask if anybody knows anything, please let us know.
On October 2nd, the Orange County Sheriff's Office organized another press conference to announce an urgent development in the search for Mia Marcano.
So good afternoon. Obviously, this is not the update that I wanted to give to everyone today. Earlier today, the Orange County Sheriff's Office Emergency Response Team was searching the area of Timberscan Apartments that's off of South Texas Avenue in Orange County, and that's when they discovered a body we believe to be that of Mia Marcano. About an hour ago, detectives notified Mia's parents of our tragic news. Our hearts are broken. I told you Thursday that hundreds of Orange County Sheriff's Office personnel were committed to this case and working very hard. Everyone wanted this outcome to be different. So why were we at Timberscan Apartments? So cell phone records showed us that Caballero was in or near the Timberscan apartments on Friday evening between 8 and 9 o'clock. That's the evening that she was reported missing. And he was there for about 20 minutes. Nothing in the records indicate that he ever returned there prior to killing himself. So we sent search teams out first thing this morning. That's when they found what we believe to be Mia. And although we are very certain of the identity, the positive identification will have to come from the medical examiner's office.
An autopsy was conducted by Dr. Stephanie the next day. Dr. Stephanie was unable to determine the cause of death due to the advanced stage of decomposition. However, based on the evidence and circumstances surrounding her disappearance, Dr. Stephanie concluded the manner of death was a homicide. Forensic testing later confirmed that the blood on the pillow and pillowcase at Mia's apartment and the hair on the duct tape found in Armando's car matched Mia's DNA profile. Based on the investigation's findings, detectives believe the following is the most likely sequence of events in the murder of Mia Marcano. At 5 p.m., Mia is captured on surveillance camera leaving the leasing office at the conclusion of her shift and walking to her apartment. At 5:06 p.m., Mia's key fob activates her door and she enters her apartment. It is believed Armando had been inside her unit since 4:32 p.m., lying in wait. It was evident from the condition of the bed, broken jewelry on the floor, bloodstains on the pillowcase and pillow, that Armando attacked her and a struggle ensued. Armando is believed to have killed Mia and taken her body to the trunk of his vehicle via the bedroom window at around 5:50 p.m. At 7:38 p.m., Armando left the Arden Villas area and proceeded west through downtown Orlando before entering south central Orange County. He eventually arrived at the Timberscan apartments, where he once resided, at around 8:30 p.m. and drove to the back northeast corner of the complex, which was mostly abandoned with overgrown grass, no buildings, and no human foot traffic. He removed Mia's body from his car and placed her in a thick, tree-covered barrier leading to a lake behind the complex. She had already had her legs, hands, and face and neck area wrapped with black duct tape, similar to the ones he used for maintenance work. He left her red purse on the ground beside her and put her work shirt and bloody pillow cover inside the purse. Mia's family and their attorney, Daryl Washington, held a news conference saying the apartment complex where Mia lived and worked could have and should do more to keep its residents safe.
We are looking at all the legal remedies that's available to the family, but obviously, and it's very clear that there was some negligence that was involved in this case.
In October 2021, Mia's family filed a wrongful death lawsuit against Arden Villas. In addition, the family states they are still wondering why her case wasn't initially treated with more urgency by law enforcement when there was immediate evidence of foul play. There was blood on her pillow and her bedroom door had furniture against it to prevent it from opening. The reporting deputy was warned about Armando's behavior and that he had been harassing Mia. The family told the deputy Mia's apartment was in disarray, that Armando possibly had Mia's blanket in his car, and her teddy bear was not where it was supposed to be. At the very least, they felt Armando should have been detained and formally interrogated instead of a relatively short informal street interview. But, according to Deputy Paulino, he felt he had no evidence Armando did anything wrong, so he released him. In documents related to an internal investigation, Deputy Paulino admitted he missed some red flags. In July 2022, the Orange County Sheriff's Office concluded that Deputy Paulino and his supervisor, Corporal Kenneth Dale, failed to act urgently in the case of Mia Marcano. Investigators found that Deputy Paulino neglected to report crucial details to his supervisor, Corporal Dale, including the discovery of blood on a pillow in Mia's room and broken jewelry on the floor. As a result, Dale classified Mia as a voluntary missing person, rather than a missing endangered person, which prevented detectives from the Criminal Investigations Division from being contacted. Consequently, Paulino was suspended without pay for 150 hours while Corporal Dale received a 10-hour unpaid suspension. Marcano family attorney Daryl Washington said the Marcanos believe the suspensions are not enough and said they would like to see the deputy and his supervisor face tougher consequences, including termination. Sheriff John Mina released the following statement. Few things are more excruciating for a family than when a loved one goes missing and is murdered. In the case of Mia Marcano's disappearance, managers in the responding deputy's chain of command recognized a lack of urgency on his part and asked that his role and the role of his corporal in the first hours of that incident be investigated by our Professional Standards Division. That deputy was sustained for unsatisfactory performance and the discipline was harsh. As a result of this incident, we're in the process of making changes to policy that will direct first responding patrol deputies to immediately notify their supervisors and the missing persons unit in any case in which someone is considered a missing endangered person. Mia Marcano was young, talented, and full of life. Her disappearance and murder garnered international attention and involved a concerted effort to obtain justice by her family, the Orange County Sheriff's Office, the FBI, neighboring law enforcement agencies, and the local community. While, according to police records, the terrifying murder occurred before the police became involved, and the actions of law enforcement provided much-needed closure for Mia's loved ones, serious shortcomings need to be addressed. These include a lackadaisical approach at the start of the police investigation, overlooked evidence, and security failures by the apartment complex. Despite the tragic outcome, the Marcano family continues their fight for justice for Mia. After her death, the family established a nonprofit organization named the Mia Marcano Foundation. According to the foundation's website, the organization's primary focus is to ensure that Mia's death was not in vain, and to prevent families of missing persons from enduring what Mia's family suffered on the evening of September 24, 2021.